Good evening, welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship. And hard-working councillors, I saw you working last week, and I understand you're going to continue with these hearings next week. My name is Lois Wells, and my support person is Mr. Dennis O'Connor from the Spraydon Neighbourhood Network, to which organisation I am indebted for showing me how to make this submission against asset sales. I realise it is a tough task financing our city's rebuild, but I urge you to hold back till all the financial data is on the table and known with certainty before disposing of any assets. These assets give our citizens a stake in our city. They contribute to our sense of belonging and give us a feeling of control over our lives, having some say in the airport, Orion, City Care, and Red Bus. They also provide employment for many in the city, and I feel they ensure that Christchurch will not become too expensive a place for many families to live in. As well, they provide financial security for future generations. I welcome the delay in the building of the convention centre and the sports complex, for this must put less pressure on finances. I encourage you to keep negotiating with the government for a better deal. I know it's a tough task. However, you and I were not responsible for the devastating quakes, so why should we be burdened with rapidly increasing rates? And is not the rebuild firing our economy and helping fill the government's coffers? Finally, I would like to refer you to page 3 of my submission with the list of the 16 names of those people who supported it. Of the 21 people invited to do so, one man had already signed, one was uncertain, a third said he'd do anything to get his rates down. But what struck me most was that only one person, another man, stated that he was pro-asset sales. And of the women, one declined, and 11 gave support and without hesitation. However, I hope you, the council, will hesitate before disposing of any of this treasure trove of assets which was so carefully compiled through the foresight of our ancestors as a hedge against our city becoming too expensive for its citizens or future generations to live in. For me, selling assets is too big a risk to take. The rebuild won't go on forever, but assets can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great that you, talk to so many people and to get a flavour for, how they are responding to the situation that we're in.
Thank you.
In terms of the situation that we're in terms of priorities, getting streets fixed and getting pipes fixed and things like that, do you think that's the priority for the city?
I suspect it is.
And
getting drainage and things like that.
Yeah, so drainage, pipes, and the streets.
Yes.
That would be pretty much the top priority for you.
Perhaps need a list, but
the rates increases. What did your neighbours and your friends think of the rates increases that we're proposing?
Well, there was the one man who said he'd do anything to get the rates down. I didn't really discuss rates with other people. I just simply invited them to support my submission, which was opposing asset sales.
That's great, thank you. Glenn?
Thank you, Lois. For your submission, we were told early in the piece no one would be worse off. Do you think it's drawing too long a bow to say that would apply to the council as well, which actually belongs to the people?
I'm not sure quite what you're asking.
Do you think the phrase "no one will be worse off" applies to the council as well?
Well, I guess they're part of the city,
Yeah,
so I think
it's a
yes.
slightly unfair question because it was a statement made after the September earthquake, not the February earthquake. Yeah, it's probably unfair.
I remember there were promises made, and I'm not sure that they've been kept.
I think that promises were made after September, and after February, I think that it should have been an opportunity for someone to say, oh, no, this is much bigger than September, and we can't keep those promises, and then had a reset around expectations. I think that would have been reasonable, but people still have heightened expectations around those sorts of commitments that were made after September, and I think that's a shame.
I
So
heard you
lesson
say
learned.
that. I heard you say that the contract was 60% help from the government.
60%.
But I would say that this was so huge and so devastating that 60% would never be enough.
Yeah, thank you, because you've actually highlighted that's one of the issues that we are confronted with, and what you're saying is that we should actually ask the government for more than what they committed to in the cost sharing agreement.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Yanni.
I know it's been put to you that, the choice between asset sales and fixing up our broken streets in the suburbs, but I also wanted to get your feedback on the central city, because we've got 160 million on budget to gold plate already earthquake repaired streets in the central city, and I just wondered
So
whether
you are
consider...
putting that in a slightly pejorative way,
Councillor. It's
seriously,
the same way which you asked your question.
160 million, it doesn't. I took this out of time because the 5 minutes was up.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, don't use language like gold-plated. Just say we've got $160 million on budget for the central city streets, and how does that sound to you when they're not so damaged?
So just to give you one example,
Yes.
we're proposing to spend $16 million on 5 blocks of Kilmore Street, which has already had its earthquake repairs, to two-way it. At the same time, we're proposing over 30 years to fix the earthquake-broken streets in the eastern suburbs. So I just wanted to get a sense from you, because many people have said to us...
I don't think that we've decided that the streets in the east are going to wait for 30 years, Yanni.
Well, some over a longer period of time. And so just in terms of the central city, which is about 1.2 billion...
I'm really regretting letting you make this question out of time. And I won't do it again.
What's your view on the central city? But I just want to ask, what's your view on the central city projects, the expensive projects that are leading to our shortfall?
That's the question.
I think that the expensive projects like the convention centre, they could well be set aside for a period and delayed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you again for going to so much trouble to make a submission and then to come here and present it on behalf of so many people.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is David Chamberlain.